Hey, best friend, can I ask you something personal? Have you ever had a dream that felt so stinking big it scared you? A desire that you kept tucking away because it felt impractical, selfish, or just too much? I want to challenge you today, friend. Your dream was not planted in you by accident. Not every dream is meant to stay in the someday file. So today, we are digging into what makes dreams, specifically your dreams, a reality. Not through hustle or burnout, but through alignment, action, and faith. We're going to talk about psychology, purpose, and those stories that we've been telling ourselves that need rewriting. So, friend, let's freaking go. Why do we even care about dreams? Well, first of all, dreams shape our identity. Interpersonal neuropsychology talks about how we are wired for meaning, purpose, and integration. When we deny our dreams because our dreams are often parts of ourselves, we fragment parts of ourselves. If you're like, that doesn't sound very good, you are right. And when we avoid dreams, this often starts from a very early age, from these attachment patterns that we created with our parents. We say things like, I have to be safe, not free, or I only receive love when I serve others, as some unconscious beliefs that we have. And those start to squish our dreams because, well, it's better to have love than have a dream or something like that. And then I don't know if you've ever had this experience in pursuing a dream, but sometimes dreaming can feel really lonely. Pursuing the dream can feel really lonely. But when we name it, when we validate the desire to have it, it's actually a first healing move in order for us to get what it is that we want. If you listen to this podcast long enough, you hear me talk about stoicism. And Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you say and what you think. Friend, we do not have forever. Your time is to build now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. Not 10 years from now, not after you do the next thing or life gets more calm or whatever it is. Now, positive psychology, which I really love, shows that people with self-concordant goals, meaning goals aligned with one's identity and values, report higher well-being, there we go, higher well-being, motivation, and persistence. Well, this seems like a positive thing here. So, bottom line, when you ignore your dream or dreams, friend, you're not being humble, you're staying small in a world that needs your voice, in a world that needs your dream. Often, our dreams are planted in us, not for us, but for others. So, let's talk about what this dream thing is, what it isn't. Your dreams are deep desires that align with your values and identity. Something that lights you up and feels like a pull rather than a push. And if you've ever been pursuing something that felt out of alignment, you know the difference in the pull and the push. It's like no matter how hard it is, you just keep pulling, you just keep moving after that dream rather than someone or something having to push you to get there. We need to have a compelling future vision. And that's exactly what a dream is. It's your unconscious mind offering direction through longing, that we are longing for something. By the way, even though this isn't going to feel maybe nice to say, sometimes jealousy is actually a picture of the dreams that are existing inside of us, that it tells us that something in there feels, there we go, feels unfulfilled. And so we want to be aware, be mindful of those things running around unconsciously. Now you might be going like, Dr. Britt, how in the world do I get conscious of what's running around in my unconscious? Well, that's a slowing down process and probably a podcast for another day. Dreams are also internal maps that help you recalibrate your nervous system toward hope, toward meaning, toward self leadership. I had a dream to be a mom. I've had many dreams in my lifetime thus far, and one of the biggest was to be a mom. And becoming a mom, there's a lot of hope towards that, a lot of movement in a very positive direction, even though I had very negative feelings from time to time. It was a recalibration towards hope. There was a meaning there, even in a deeper way than pursuing the dream of my PhD. That's probably a story for another day too. But I remember when I hit that dream and I was like, all right, well, that didn't feel exactly how I thought that it would feel. It felt great. And then it was like, okay, that our dreams drive us. We want our dreams to move us forward. The more that you dream, that you allow yourself to dream, the more that you get in touch with what's actually happening in you. I know people and I've had conversations with people, friends, clients, people, family, whoever, people in my life that I really care about. And sometimes they've stopped themselves from dreaming. They've stopped this hope thing. They've stopped looking for believing in something, something more, that there's more for them. And when we believe that there's more, we also have more meaning and we can lead ourselves that direction. Friend, your dream can be personal, relational, can be creative, spiritual, but our dreams are connected to our why we're here. I have a vision board. I just looked up. I have a vision board on my wall. And another word for a vision board, I really think could be a dream board. I have pictures, physical pictures. I have travel pictures. I have financial pictures. I have family and time and relationships and career and like how I want to live at my emotional home, what I want that to look like the majority of the time. I have a dream/vision board. Our dreams move us forward. I hope that you're getting this. Dreams are not fantasies or escape plans. They're not selfish or silly. Unless you've been trained to believe that self-sacrifice is a virtue, which, could show up in some of those attachment patterns that I mentioned earlier. Dreams are not meant to be delayed until you feel ready. Ready never happens. Tomorrow never comes. It's so many people are like, yeah, I'll have a baby when it's the right time. What exactly is the right time? Uh, my husband often says right now is the most simple life will ever be. And I actually do feel that way, that it's the older I've gotten, the more that I've worked for, the more children have come into my life, like whatever it is, it's like everything gets more complicated. I probably was more ready years ago than I am now. In some ways, we just have to take action. And our dreams are not for the lucky or the successful people. God doesn't like just hand out dreams to the chosen few. No, I think about Romans 12:6 that says, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. Often our dream is our assignment. I want you to really let that sink in. Your dream is your assignment. Right now, I feel like I'm working on a massive assignment that I assigned myself. I am currently writing a book. I'm writing it for me, but I'm writing it for you. It's my Hey Best Friend book. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the title is going to be yet. And there are things in there that it's like, man, if I had known this earlier, my life might have been different. I could have been different or experienced things in maybe a better or a healthier way. That right now, as I'm writing my book, I believe at this dream in my heart that this is a part of my assignment. You get that, right? Friend, I know that you have dreams in your heart. And even if you're like, no, I don't, or that you've stopped dreaming, that's conscious. To stop dreaming is conscious. Doesn't mean those dreams aren't running around in your unconscious mind. So I want you to just really think that maybe, just maybe, I'm on the earth for something more. So let's talk about how to make our dreams a reality. So this one has a couple of components to it. So you need to name the dream, which involves identity and clarity. You really want to ask yourself good questions here because you want to find out what the dream is beneath the dream. You could finish this sentence. If I wasn't afraid, you might insert like of rejection or whatever, but if I wasn't afraid or overwhelmed, I would love to. Finish that sentence. What would you really love to do? NLP uses well formed outcome models. So, as you're thinking about your future, you want to think about what do you want? I can't tell you how often I ask people questions and I'm like, hey, what do you want in this area of life? And they start listing off all the things that they don't want. And while that is really important for us to know what it is that we don't want, it is so much more important for us to know what we do want. Remember, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Thank you, Tony Robbins. So we want to focus on what we do want. And then you have to get really clear. This is the clarity part. How will I know when I have it? Because the dream could be to write a book. I'm going to use myself as an example. The dream could be to write a book. All right. So, well, I know that I have it when I've finished typing the book on my Microsoft Word. Will I know that I wrote a book when it's published and in Amazon? Or is the dream bigger than that? Is the dream to impact lives as a result of the book? See, friend, those are different. How will I know when I have it? Well, I need to know fully what the dream is. We also have to ask ourselves, is it self initiated and under your control? Writing my book, for example, is under my control. It is self initiated because we can dream for some things, but we need to make sure that they are under our control. And then one of my favorites is this ecological? And I love asking this to clients. Yeah, I want to do this thing. All right. Is it ecological? Meaning, is it good for you and good for others? For example, I could, and I had an earlier due date in my mind for my book. And I didn't hit it because it wasn't ecological for my family. So I moved the due date out. I could have already written this book. Here's the thing, though, it would require me to hole away for lots and lots of hours, probably away from my family in order to make it happen. And while that sounds like, oh, just get it done and then it's fine, that would not be ecological for my family. I have a husband that needs a wife around, and then I have two kiddos that definitely need their mom. So you really need to get the identity of the dream and get clear. If I wasn't afraid or overwhelmed, I would love to what? What would you love to do? And then thinking about, I'm pointing you to clarity. What do you want? How will you know when you have it? Is it self initiated and under your control? And is it ecological? Number two, in order to make your dreams, friend, a reality, which I want for you, you need to disrupt your limiting beliefs. Who says that this dream isn't possible? What's stopping you really? What if you could? What if you could do this in this way, in this time? So often, and I really encourage you to listen to my podcast, Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers. I will link it in the show notes. I really encourage you to listen to that podcast because it really helps us think through the questions that we're asking ourselves. That in order for us to get what we really want to have, we need to be better question askers. Because if I keep asking myself, well, why isn't this happening for me? What's going to happen is my brain is going to come up with all of the negative things about me are the reasons why this isn't happening. But if you were to ask yourself, well, what do I need to do? What would have to happen in order for me to achieve this dream? Those questions are going to take your brain two very, very different directions. You get that? Yes? Okay. Sometimes we need to do a process like mental and emotional release. We need to do a breakthrough session. We need to get rid of some baggage that's helped holding our dreams and our future hostage. Maybe we also need to challenge some of those attachment frames that we've had earlier. Maybe we need to say, well, let's start with this. There we go, instead of saying, I can't chase this because I'll be rejected, let's try safe love supports my expansion, not my shrinking. Yeah, I can have what's out there for me if I choose to pursue it. Yeah. All right. Number 3. You want to create psychological safety with micro action. What in the blue blazes does that even mean? So I'm going to tell you, your brain needs evidence that you're safe. If you've had a lot of fear about your dreams about pursuing, you need to start small. One conversation, one coffee, one page, one phone call, one. One, one, one. And then, by the way, when you do the one, you celebrate the one. Hey, that was awesome. I wrote the page. Hey, that was awesome. I made the phone call. Because what happens is when we start taking actions that feel safe, and by the way, I'm all about risk. You can take a risk, maybe going to have coffee with somebody that you don't know very well, but seems like they could be an awesome friend. That might feel like a risk. And you can feel safe in a risk. I know that that seems kind of contradictory, but you can know that you're safe, that you start small. It's like, okay, I just have to do this. And by the way, I feel like even as I think about my own book, that I'm starting to get momentum in writing this book. I needed to really get my flow. I needed to figure some things out. Now that I have, I'm getting the words onto the paper quicker, faster. But your brain, my brain had to just start somewhere, because if I think about my book, and it's like overall, I'm like, this maybe we'll see somewhere around 150-page book. If I think about the book as the giant chunk, that's a lot. But when you start to break it down into smaller parts that you can take action on, a chapter, now I can write a section of this chapter. All right, I can do that. I'm totally capable, just like you're capable of taking micro action in ways that feel safe and stretch you, because you need to be stretched, friend. When we experience progress, whether that's physically, emotionally, whatever, it creates momentum and confidence. More begets more. Have you ever been working for a goal, a dream, that you were pursuing something, and it was like the more you did it, the more you wanted to do it, and the better that you felt at it, and the more confident you became in your abilities? Yeah, it's just like that. One time, this and I laugh at myself. I decided that I wanted to do something hard, and I don't identify as a runner. And so I decided I was going to run a half marathon for my birthday. And I did. And I created progress. It was like, okay, I don't remember what it is at that time, but it was like, maybe I've never run more than like 3 or 4 miles at a time, something like that. And I had to keep challenging that. And I got more momentum, confident in my ability to make the half marathon happen. I want you to just really realize this. You can do it. You just have to take smaller action. There's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? The answer is one bite at a time. Same concept applies. Number 4, you want to visualize your success and then anchor the state. The brain is so cool, friend. The brain does not know the difference between imagined and reality. So you need to see yourself successful. You need to see the things happening. And this isn't me over here talking about manifesting. That's not the deal. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your brain. If it can see you do it, it can also help you take the action steps on it. So there's a technique called future pacing. You can future pace your dream. Um, let's say, right, I'm just going to use my book because I've been using that as an example. I can future pace my dream, which is me at my launch party releasing my book to the wonderful people that choose to come support me release my book. And I can see them around me. I can visualize it. I can see the balloons, the location, probably some of the faces that are there, and me reading a section of my book or standing behind a table where my books are stacked up in front of me. As I'm even describing this to you, because I have a dream attached to it, because I do what I've told you about, I actually have an anchor to this dream. I have a future pace here that I've already put on my personal life timeline. I can feel this as I'm describing it to you because I have the picture. You need to imagine it. What would you see? What would you feel? What would you hear? And you want to make it as much like reality when you have it. And then you want to anchor that empowered feeling to, a location on your body. And that way you're able to access it on demand. With my personal anchor for my dream, there are other things that I have anchored with this, which are confidence, excitement, focus, and what's the other one? It's powerful. Yeah. Oh, and creative. There's the other one. Yep. I have these things anchored because it helps me write my book. When it's time for me to write, I fire off my anchor. I future pace. I see that dream become a reality. I am feeling those feelings in my body. It's powerful. It makes it become a reality. All right. Then, friend, number 5, you need to surround yourself with support. I'm going to say that again. This is how, I'm recording late and I'm tired is friend, you need to surround yourself with support. Don't do it alone. Share your dream with others. Maybe you need to start with someone who's safe. That's fine. Maybe you just need to hear the dream come out of your mouth. Do it. And then start sharing it. I've had people ask me when my dream or when my book, when I'm planning to finish my book or launch my book, and I give them the date. Uh, and internally, I know that I'm focused on ecology. So if in order for me to achieve that dream, if it's not going to be ecological for my family, I will again extend the date and it won't feel like loss to me because I'm still working towards a dream and it's ecological for my family. However, I am pushing to make this happen. So I continue to share this dream. And I'm also creating accountability along the way. That's loving, there's no shame there, that I'm really allowing my friends around me to sharpen me, to sharpen each other. It's like I have people that are reading my book right now that they give me feedback on what they say, what they read, if anything like doesn't make sense, or if they really like something, or if there's something that they need more information on. They are giving me feedback, and that feedback is really important because it makes me better and it's going to make my book better for you as you when you go buy it and you read it. Yep, it's going to make it better. And I have to be willing to hear that. But in this, at the very same time, I had one of my readers said to me, I wanted to do this just to help you. And what I found is that your book is really helping me too. Iron is sharpening iron here. Let me ask you a few questions just like I always do. Number 1, what dream have I been minimizing or deferring? And what would happen if I stopped waiting for permission? Number 2, what beliefs or stories have I inherited that make me think I'm not allowed to pursue what I want? Because, friend, you need to deal with those stories. Number 3, how would I show up this week if I already believed that my dream was mine to pursue? Number 4, what's one micro action, that small bite of the elephant, that I can take in the next 24 hours that brings this dream closer? And number 5, who needs to know about this dream so I stop carrying it alone? Bestie, your dream is not too big. You're not too late. You're not asking for too much. You are being called. You are assigned by the deepest parts of your heart. And frankly, I believe by the Spirit of God to co create a life that reflects who you truly are. So take that step. Use your voice. Go for your dream. Because, friend, you can't hit if you don't swing. Until next week.